Here in the U.S., the number of confirmed cases continues to rise, with more than 13,000 testing positive.
The United States has recorded the most number of coronavirus deaths in a single day.
Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jessica and today I would like to share with you my travel experience from the United States back to Taiwan during the coronavirus epidemic. And I would like to begin the video by saying how thankful and how aware, how privileged I am to be back to Taiwan, because I know many people studying abroad or work abroad, they don't necessarily have the resources or the opportunity to come back, and I'm one of the few who can, and I'm now safely living at the quarantine hotel. I know this is a very hard time, but I hope whoever you are, I hope you feel less alone after watching this video, because I know how crazy everything is, and I just hope that you're okay. So the reason I'm making this video is for one, to pay tribute to anyone who has helped me along the way, as well as perhaps answering some of your questions about traveling, or perhaps like reducing your anxiety about traveling, because I know a while back then when I learned that I had to fly back during the coronavirus, I was a little panicking. So I just want to make this video to tell you that it'll be alright. So a couple of reasons as in why I decide to come back to Taiwan. So reason number one is because I don't feel particularly safe in the US. I hope I'm not trying to like offend anyone here, but with lists and lists going on, I just don't think that it is like the best place I can be at right now. And reason number two is because many of my internship opportunities have been canceled or moved to remote internship, and since the cost of living in the US is significantly higher, I might as well just like come back. I might actually have an internship where I can attend to, or maybe attending to my remote internship at home. It is much more cost effective and I'm much comfortable at home. And number three is because, well, I just miss home. I really miss my home. I miss this city. I miss my family and friends, and I also miss the food, especially the food. So like upon learning about the crisis, we did a lot of preparation for us to come back home. We had to figure out like where we are going to be quarantined after we came back, because it is it is a regulation, a law in Taiwan right now to be quarantined at a specific place for 14 days, and you can either do it at home or you can do it at quarantine hotel. So for me right now, I'm doing this from a hotel. So like before traveling, there's a lot of preparation that needs to be done, because we need to protect ourselves as much as possible from the external environments. The first and foremost important is obviously mask. I think I go a little overboard with this, because like I have like three kinds of masks. I have like the surgical paper mask that's really common, and I also have like the gas mask, and also the cloth mask. I think my favorite one out of all of them is probably a gas mask. I mean, I know that stuff looks really heavy and complicated, but it's actually really breathable. Like I can really breathe in this, and like what's good about the gas mask is that like you can reuse it over and over again. You just have to change the filters, which is quite economical. Like we also got those goggles. I was actually wearing like those goggles that you wear to a chemistry lab. And I I honestly thought like it was not that necessary because I'm already wearing glasses, but like, you know, extra protection, extra chance of survival, so yeah, why not? And we also got latex gloves to cover our hands so that like the virus doesn't like get into like small spaces like our nails. And we also got ponchos or you can do raincoats, and some of like my Chinese brand, my high-tech Chinese brands have these like fancy protection suit. And beneath our ponchos, we also wear like long sleeves and long pants and socks, just cover every inch of our body. But if you cannot get a protection suit or like poncho or raincoats, it's okay. As long as you're wearing something like long sleeves that cover your entire body, then you are totally fine. And lastly, I also got, this is optional, but I choose to get like adult diapers. I got the diapers because my parents tell me to not use the bathroom at all when I'm traveling. And yeah, I actually did use the diaper. It was quite an experience. I'll talk about that later. I actually have a trip already before I come back to Taiwan because I attend school in Atlanta, Georgia, but I have to first fly to Philadelphia to help my brother out because he just graduated from his master's degree and he has to deal with like storage and like finding a new place to live next year. So I already had a trip before I come back. And honestly, I was kind of nervous about the trip a few days before it happened. But then like on the day like I actually was going to leave, I'm not as stressed out, which is surprising. Maybe because I was so busy packing up everything and like sending it to like storage people. So I'm actually pretty laid back. So this is a picture of me trying everything on before I leave for the airport. Like my friends were laughing their asses off, but honestly though, if you look at it, this can be like a look on the runway. Like imagine quarantine, the fashion show. And I go straight to the airport on Uber. But like when I arrived at the airport was very empty. It was like so much more empty than it usually is. But like I was a little more concerned because I see some people that are not wearing a mask, and like some parents just like let their children run around like on the ground and like their hands touching the floor and like on their face. This is why I don't feel safe, okay? Like, oh, here's a tip. When you are reaching security, be sure to be prepared to take everything out because first they need to verify you, and also you need to go through go through security and they need to scan you. So they ask you to put everything into a box and then they have to scan it. I almost had a mental breakdown then because like it's like I was carrying everything. I was like the gas mask and like the goggles and everything. I had to like carry everything. So yeah, like the trip was really quick. It is quite a painless trip. I would say about that. But well, one thing that was kind of scary was when I used my diaper. So after I got off my plane, I was, don't judge me, but peeing silently in front of a screen advertisement. Like I looked like I was looking at the advertisement, but really I was peeing and hoping nobody would notice. And here's the part that was kind of gross. So I was peeing, right? And like all of a sudden I just feel something warm and wet rolling down my pants. And when I look down, there's just like a puddle of water beside my feet. And I was panicking the inside, but you know what? I just stepped my ground and silently and quickly walk/run away from the crime scene. And I guess if you intend on wearing a diaper on traveling,
just let it absorb, let it evaporate, and start back at square one.
Yeah, like our second trip was the big trip. So like a little information about that is that like we had to take so many kinds of transportation to get to like our eventual destination. So like first
we have to go on an Uber that takes us to the train station in Philadelphia, and like we have to ride a 1.5 hour Amtrak to the Penn station in New York, and we also have to go on the Long Island Railway and then the airport MRT to go to the terminal at JFK. It's like the 15-hour flight from New York City to Taipei, and after that we have to take another 4-hour car rides from Taipei to Kaohsiung, which is where I am right now.
It's like a 22 to 23 hours of trip. So yeah, naturally, it's like a lot of stress. So on the day that we are setting up, where we're ready to go, my brother was panicking. I can see that he's under a lot of stress, which I don't blame him, because like most of the time I didn't die or I didn't get lost or get into trouble. It's because he's beside me, so he's kind of like the mom. Honestly, like I was wondering why I go to Philadelphia, because sometimes I feel like I'm more of a burden than like a help to him. We have 4 suitcases which we carry alongside with us, and so first we got an Uber, and like let me tell you, like somebody give this freaking Uber driver a fucking medal, because he's like a model citizen. Look at him, like oh my god, he's like the most the most prepared person I have met in America. Like he really takes this stuff seriously. I'm so proud of him. Like people should be more like him, okay? And like we got safely to the train station, and like the train station is even more empty than the airport. Like it's just honestly I was kind of like mesmerized by the sight, because like there's something kind of beautiful about an empty train station. So we waited there, and like a really nice Amtrak staff actually offered to help us carry luggages, and bless him, he's such a wonderful man for not giving us the side eye or like confused look about asking like why we dress the way we do, and then just like being really polite and helpful towards us. Everything's fine. We took the train, took the Long Island Railway, and then like we took the airport MRT, and we got to JFK. So when we got to JFK and we go straight to EVA Airlines check-in point, then that is when I started to become aware of how serious our government take this whole thing. There was a group of people beside the check-in point that are filling in some survey. You can actually do this online. Like there's a form that you need to fill out about your basic information and where you're going to be quarantined in the next 2 weeks. So like you can do this at home. You can scan a QR code at the airport. They will take you to a form, and you have to fill it out. And after you finish that form, you have to get your temperature tested. And like I just like adore how strict everything is, because even before we board the plane, they're already like testing our temperature and seeing if like we are good to only 1, not 2, but 3 layers of diapers, so that like that incident does not happen again. As we were waiting by the terminal, I look around and is satisfied to see that everyone is wearing at least a mask. There were people like us wearing ponchos, but there are also a couple of passengers wearing full-on protection suit. However, even though we all pretty much dressed the same, there was a kid particularly interested in my gas mask.
Mommy, look at her mask.
And the mom was like, yes, that's very cool, like Darth Vader. So me, naturally, being the troll I am, walk up to the little girl when the mom was not there and start making Darth Vader noises.
Hey, what's your name?
I'm Grace.
Oh well, Grace, guess what? I am your father.
The boarding process was relatively quick and really efficient, partly because of the amazing flight attendants. I honestly think that the flight attendants are the real MVP here, because like they have to deal with so much. Like they were wearing like this extra layer of protection like us, but then like they just like walk around like across the aisles like in such efficiency and quickness, and like even Grace, like they're like freaking queens in this like in that plane. And like in this situation, I can understand if they are a little like a little rude or like angry or like impatient, but they're just like so cool with the whole thing, and they maintain the same level of professionalism and friendliness I usually experience with EVA Airline. That like I was really touched by how much they care for us. Like I swear to God, EVA Airlines instruction videos are like legendary. Last time like they have like a safety instruction video based on contemporary dance, which I really love, and now it's like like this like Wes Anderson-ish spy Kingsman-ish type of instructional video where they say like we're agents accomplishing a mission. Honestly, I thought it was weirdly fitting at this point, because yeah, it does feel like we are trying to accomplish something really big, but honestly the flight attendants are doing all the work. But at this time I have lost the passage of time already, so this flight, 15 hours flight, also passed really quickly. I think mainly because I was trying to put myself to sleep with like by hypnotizing myself so that I can escape this like crowded aircraft and just go into dreamland. And after we landed, we have to go through a series of procedures. So first we're going to receive, like ideally receive a message from the CDC about like confirmation of our quarantine hotels and like confirmation about like our health status, and a couple of people have to like be further examined, but we're not one of them, luckily. So we end up getting out of passing through security and getting our luggages. We have to go straight to the special spot where they have like pickup taxi, like pickup car there, because if you come back from abroad, you cannot go on public transportation before your quarantine. That is against the law, because like you might infect a bunch of other people. So we have to go on this special kind of car that would drive us to where we're gonna be quarantined. So we are ready and set to go. We put our luggages on the car, and like me and my brother, we're at the back seat, like with like a giant luggage between us. Like we cannot sit with the driver, because in order to protect the driver, we need to like kind of like distance ourselves from him. So like yeah, like I say, I already time is already an abstract concept for me right now. So like even like the 3 to 4 hour ride seems like a 30-minute ride. When we were ready to go to Kaohsiung, it was already like 1 a.m. in the morning. And the driver is also like he drove so smoothly and make us really comfortable. Eventually we arrived at the hotel, and then like we were greeted by the hotel staff. We got our key cards and go back up to our room. The first thing I do when I go back to my room is also to sanitize everything with the sanitizer they provided, like my shoes, my bags, my suitcases, like myself included. And then I just go straight into the freaking bathroom. I take everything out, especially my freaking diaper. I didn't pee on like the last layer of diaper I have, but it's still really disgusting. So yeah. And like I took everything out and I took a long ass shower. And after shower, I ate like a giant bag of Doritos and like binged like a giant bowl of instant noodle. And like I went straight to sleep afterwards for like quite a few hours. Like I don't know, like 7 to 8 hours, or I think more. And thus began my two weeks of quarantine in a hotel. Like I honestly thank my mom so much for getting me in this room. Like this is a really big and really nice and fancy room, and then like I have such a great view in the city. It's beautiful. I love looking at the city at night. And like this room, typically it costs like 2,400 NT a night, but then like my mom was like so good at bargaining that she lowers the price to like 1,400 NT a night. Like honestly, I think she should like bargain for everyone's tuition. And like plus like the government also pay us 1,000 NTD of compensation every day, so that we really only have to pay like 400 NTD a day to stay at this place, which I thought I think it's worth it. Yeah, and so like we have to be a good citizen and stay in the hotel room at all times. We cannot go out. Like we cannot step a foot outside into the hallway. Like if we do, like the police will come. I'm serious. Like the police are gonna show up. But honestly though, like seriously, be a good citizen and just stay inside the room. That's what I'm going to do. And our government also gave us like this package. There's like a bunch of stuff inside. There's the trash bag, and like a few bags of like instant porridges and soup, and like a bottle of bleach, and there's also a bar of soap. Oh, and this is really cool, but like they gave us this like temperature card. Like it is supposed to measure your temperature. So the way it works is that you put it on your forehead for about 5 seconds to 10 seconds, and then you look at it. And there are 3 numbers, 3 degrees of temperature. There's like 36, 37, 38, and like anything beyond 36, you have to call them and tell them about your symptoms because there might be something wrong with you. And like we have to record our daily report on this form, green form, and like by the end of the quarantine, we have to hand it to them. Yeah, like on top of that, we also received a message from the CDC every single day that asks about our health, and you can also like go on their app and fill out the report. So yeah, I think everything is going fine so far, and I just want to say that like at this point, like if you're traveling back, don't be afraid, don't be anxious, everything is going to be fine if you do your part. And also like don't be a dick, because like I saw some people who were just like so rude to the staff members because honestly they're under a lot of stress, but like they are too, and like the staff members are like they're trying their best to meet our needs, and we should be as understanding as possible. And like when like some like old lady was like telling them about like how uncomfortable her seat was, or like something doesn't work, I really want to punch her in the face, just because because I cannot imagine how much stress the staff members had to put up with. Yeah, it's insane. So be kind, be caring, be understanding. And at last, I would like to say, I mean, I say this a bunch of times already, but I will still like to say it again, how I'm so thankful and how I appreciate everyone's how like everyone was doing so many things for me. Like, so first my parents for allowing me and affording me to come back to like such a safe space, and for my brother for making sure that I'm alive throughout the entire trip, and all the staff members, the taxi driver, flight attendants, Uber driver, like hotel staff and track members. Like I just think all of their help, if you're watching this, and I just want to say thank you. Yeah, thank you. And I know this is a really hard time, but I hope whoever is watching this, you feel less anxious or maybe less alone when you're watching this, and I hope everything goes well. Anyway, like and subscribe if you would like to see more of me, or otherwise stay safe and bye.